gain control of this horse, and then you'll use your legs to help you gain control of his rear end. I'm going to get on the horse that doesn't know it as well and try to lead you through how to get them there. But I'll make them travel in a straight line, bending their head in both directions. Okay, and then I also want them to break at the pole. I don't want to have to hold them there. I take a hold with my fingers, and whenever they give, I release them. Okay? Then I also will bend them to the right and then press them with my leg, make them move away. Their hips and their shoulders both moving away. By having them where they'll bend left and right and break at the pole, you can control them, and then it's easier to get them to move away from your leg because you've built a barrier with your rein in the left and right direction and also in the forward and back direction. Okay, besides this, I'm going to get on a young horse and try to help walk you through some of the mistakes that the horse might make and how to get through those. Hi, on the last video we showed you on an older horse that already knows and is well at using bending left and right, breaking at the pole, and being guided by your legs with his rear end. This filly has been started a little bit, but hopefully she will give me a little bit of resistance so that I can kind of help you walk through some of the problems you may come through. To start out with, I get a horse very comfortable with giving me their head left and right. I run my hand down the reins, come to my knee and up to my hip. Grab it in the middle, run down, knee to the hip. You pull from the middle, then you can smoothly run your hand down the rein rather than crawling down it. If you do that, see the horse get upset, be smooth, go to your knee and to your hip. A lot of it has to do with how gentle you glide through on something. After you get them bending left and right, you can pressure and they will learn to break at the pole. Pressure on both reins equally. Release whenever they give you their head. I hold it with my pointing finger and my thumb. Use my other fingers to put pressure so that the moment she releases, I can release. That's what makes her learn. They learn from the release. Whenever I start teaching them, in the very beginning, my first attempts to bend them, I use the fence line, and I will, at the end of the ride, whenever they're tired and they're ready to pay attention, as I'm walking down the fence, I'll just softly pull their nose. As soon as they give it, I turn it loose. Give it, turn it loose. Nose, turn it loose. Reach down, nose to the fence, turn loose. Softly to the fence, turn it loose. I don't want to pull it so much and so hard that it makes her lose her balance and step way away. You have to turn them loose before they lose their balance. I guide them with my legs, keeping from their shoulders back, moving in whatever direction I want it to move in. I do at least the same, more than likely more with my legs than with my hands. I'm going to direct her towards this tree with the front of her body. My legs are pushing her there. The right rein's kind of helping her know where to go. Softly, I've got her nose bent to the left. Okay, I'm looking at the gate. I'm pointing her body towards the gate. Softly bringing her face to the right and helping her with the left rein to know where to go. I also push in this stirrup to give me direction. And I lay this calf, the right calf, on her to tell her to go somewhere with her body. Okay, and once you kind of get them moving forward like that, then you're ready to use the breaking at the pole to restrict the forward motion enough to make them actually step sideways. I don't even know that I've asked her yet, but normally they will just go ahead and do it because you have put those buttons on them to where they know to stay behind the bit. She's staying inside of the little cage I build for her with my legs and the pressure on the bit forward and back and left go to the right. Very softly. I'm not pulling anything hard. Okay, and then the other point of it was moving forward and breaking at the pole. Put pressure on the reins. Your legs have to keep them moving forward. Most of the time when you first start out, they don't understand and they try to stop. You may ask, will I teach them to run through the bridle? My answer is no, not if you release. The whole point is you have to release when they give to you in order for them to learn. So you focus a lot on the release. If you don't release when they release, yes, you'll teach them to run through the bridle. But as soon as I take my legs off, I'm getting her to break, 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 break. And then when I take my legs off, she stops. I don't have to pull her harder. And then they'll do that at a lope. They'll work up to doing it at a run to where you can sit down and take your legs off of them and they'll stop. But it also frames them up to where they're in a position to stop and use their rear end instead of being rigid and stiff because you pulled back hard on their head. If you have them framed up, you've got their shoulders lifted and their back lifted, and they can just set their butt underneath them without it being hard on their joints and hard on their mouth, because you've set them up and let them actually be a part of the stop rather than you manually taking a hold of their head. The other thing that goes along with that is, instead of pulling back like